Hello, if you're a Patreon watching the replay, thank you for your continued support. You are such great helps to me at this trying time.
Mine says, waiting for Hench Herbivore. Well, here you come.
Here I am now coming.
Here he is.
Boom, look who stepped in the room. Hidden Carney's up with a quick 1-2. Get it? Or don't really advocate violence. So, Lala, you're first in the room. You win. You win the internet for tonight. Laura Lulu's here. Obs. Who else is here? Chris Grant. Skinny Queen, are you new to the stream? I don't know if I recognise your name or not.
You know who we do need? Cowboy!
Yeah, Cowboy, we're streaming. I'm a bit late. I just finished shooting my next Verage video. Just finished shooting it, and before I'm straight on. I just need a little protein shake. Yeah, Skinny Queen, are you new here? Where are you from? What are you up to? Are you a person of vegan persuasionage? Or are you having a little look-see? Or are you here to troll? We welcome everyone, but not trolls. Now, I like them. Curtis White. Curtis, am I doing your plans currently, or does your name just sound similar to someone I'm doing plans for currently? Gub Zero is in the house. Gerdeep, of course. Jill Woolley, James Longman, Martha Cornelison, Chainsaw 39, Ash, Max Shenner, Vigato Blue, of course. T-Gun the Vegan. Oh, sorry, Lala kindly donated £1 Great British pounds and 99 Great British pence with a little cat avatar and a big thumbs up. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the super chat. Of course, you know, everyone's a bit concerned about money at the minute, so that really helps us out. Helps us keep the cameras rolling. Helps keep the wolves from the door, so to speak. Who else is in the house? Corey Prince, the one above all. What's in your protein shake? I'm glad you asked. It's Viva Life Perform. So for me, it's the best protein you can get. It's very digestible, which is very important. It's not that we are what we eat or drink. It's what we are what we absorb. I find this to be really absorbable. Doesn't mess your guts up. It's third-party tested for contaminants, whereas a lot of protein powders are quite high in heavy metals, and you don't want to have more than like one a day for fear of like a toxic load of lead and things. And good old Viva Life, they plant a tree for every order, carbon neutral delivery, compostable bags, no plastics, all even the scoops are compostable. So that's why I go with them. This one is the acai and blueberry. It's got 6 grams of branch chains in there. I find it's amazing for training on, which is why I decided to ambassador with them. Oh, nice. Thanks for joining the stream, Curtis. The Shara's in the house. Do. Obviously, a regular viewer. They know the theme tune. Chris Grant, apparently rice and bean sales are up. I can believe that. Mihai, hey man, Dr. Gregor removed vitamin D, AM, DHA from his daily dozen. What's your opinion about that? He's removed which? Vitamin D or DHA?
Looks a bit like the same place, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll be a bit shocked about that, but normally he would obviously say his reasoning. Let's have a little look. Daily dozen. What's DHA actually on the daily dozen? I mean, sorry, what's DHA on the daily dozen? I know it's 1 tablespoon of ground flax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There were 12 obviously daily dozen things. And as far as I can see, 12 are still on there. Oh, and at the bottom, don't forget essential vitamins, vitamin B12, vitamin D, 2000 I use that, of D3. As far as I can see, that's on there. I don't think DHA was ever on there. I know he does recommend 250 milligrams per day, or he did, unless he's recently changed it, and I've not heard. Nate Johnson's in the house. Tegan having chickpea tea in it today. Nice. And I've made meringues out of aquafaba. Very good. Yeah, nothing's going to waste. Aquafaba. Sounds like such a luxurious thing, doesn't it? Aquafaba. It smells like farts.
It does.
It does smell like farts, doesn't
You
it?
really have to wash the farts off of chickpeas.
Am I right? Does aquafaba smell like farts? Right now in the comment section.
I vote yes.
Nate Johnson, I can't find rice, beans or flour anywhere. People finally realising vegan is the way. Yeah, I mean, those sort of things really keep, don't they? So people are panic buying. That's the sort of stuff. The one above all, what's in there other than Viva Life? Oh, water. Yeah, that's all. Particularly when I'm on a cut, I like to eat my calories, so I don't have like plant milks, stuff like that. I have a shake sort of between meals, so I keep the protein levels up, and you know, I don't like to have more fluids at meal time, and then so I've got to fit all my whole foods in. So I have I have 4 big huge meals, and I have fluids halfway between each meal and before bed, about 1 litre, a couple of times. I might have a protein shake, or generally my first protein powder goes in my smoothie or my farts, Stephen Cook says, or my porridge for breakfast, and then I have a second protein shake, normally like post workout, or if I don't work out, maybe I'll have it before bed. Oh. Elka is in the house. What's up? Mutation Animus. DHA was on there for a few months. Oh, I didn't know that. I know his general recommendations I've ever heard him saying is a tablespoon of ground flax for your ALA, and then sort of optional DHA, but sort of recommended is what I've heard him say. Oh, David Gardell, Dr. Pam Popper has a few vids on why not vitamin D. Oh, wow. What's going on in the world? It's all going crazy. Like the sky's gone red and the ground's where the sky used to be. Everything's gone all topsy-turvy. Steve, should we do a reset like every day before we go? Sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. That's frustrating. The one above all, a medical expert said corona could spread to 10 million people. Yep, that wouldn't surprise me. Could spread to everyone potentially, couldn't it? You know, if we're not careful. And all because people like eating animals. Thanks a lot. Laura Lulu's going to go and have dinner. We'll watch this stream later. Thanks for joining, lovely. Enjoy your dinner.
Said she made old flapjacks.
Oh,
Yeah.
good choice.
Good old flapjacks they are. My favourite.
TH101, reduced to mobile data only as EE cancels my Wi-Fi in error. I have to set up from a scratch 2-week wait, so I won't be on that. Just wanted to say, stay safe and keep eating clean. Oh, that's not very good for you, is it? Bless you. I'm sorry to hear that. And you too, my friend. You too. Hope to see you back very soon.
Bad time to lose internet, isn't it? When you're stuck at home.
I forgot to thumbs up my own stream. There we go. Okay. Who's got any questions and that? Belial is in the house. Hey, folks. See you, TH101. Eco-friendly vegan geek. Hi, Hench. Love your videos. Do you think it's now crucial that we watch our diets with coronavirus going around? I mean, I think it's crucial anyway. Like, a third of us will die of heart disease, which is completely preventable, and that'll kill far more people than the old coronavirus. But yeah, you know, the better function our immune systems, like the better protected we are. If we do get it, hopefully it wouldn't be so severe. And of course, a whole foods plant-based diet is proven to prevent 14 of the 15 leading killers, many of which raise your risk for dying of coronavirus, you know, like heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, obesity. So yeah, you're not wrong. Martin Hartwood, what percentage of your diet is whole food? I would say mine is approximately 90%. I have a couple of protein shakes. I have between about 3,000 and 6,000 calories, depending on whether I'm bulking or cutting. I have a little sauce on things, like a little hot sauce, sriracha, piri piri.
Would you be counting like pasta and tofu, as they're not really whole food?
Yeah, on a bulk, I'll put in more tofu, which is a bit processed. It's not so bad, is it? Because it's had some good stuff and taken out, but at least it's not had anything bad added. I'd say on a cut, I'm like 99% whole foods, and then on a bulk, you know, I'll probably be nearer like 90 or whatever, just to get enough calories in without, you know, I'll have at least probably 160 grams of fibre. It's, you know, for someone my size, it does get difficult eating a healthful diet and gaining. D-Sharp, any chance you could do some home work videos, please? So I've done a banded workout video already. That's about 2 videos back.
Should I post it? Well, should I post it or?
Yeah, you can do. Nah, don't bother.
It's recent, isn't it? So
yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, I'll be doing some more. I'm going to do a quarantine day of eating video soon, and I'll include my workout from that. I'm now going to up my workouts a little bit, make them a bit more intense. I had a sort of, my feeling was, based on everything that I'd been hearing over the years, that you can't really do too much with bands. I mean, bands probably aren't that great, but sort of home workouts without the use of like decent weights and that. But from what I've been hearing, I've been looking at some of the science, and supposedly like there's no benefit to like the traditional, what we call the hypertrophy rep range, like 6 to 12 for most movements, versus going 20 to maybe 35 reps. Like supposedly there's no difference to the potential for muscle mass, which I find amazing, because that was the dogma for so many years. But also the dogma for so many years is, oh, don't eat fruit when you're cutting, like that's sugar, so that'll make you fat, and you must eat animal products like 5 times a day or you won't grow any muscle. So, you know, I'm not surprised that it was wrong. And I'm sort of reinvigorated, and I'm keen to get training a bit harder now. And I mean, I'm only cutting anyway, so it's not such a biggie, but I'd like to really stimulate my muscles like a lot better than I have been with the old bands and whatever. So watch this space. Yeah, I shall do some home workout videos. Typically, workout videos don't do great for me on YouTube, but what I do is I'll put them in with my sort of day of eating video. Oh, I've got hiccups.
You're trying to drink your smoothie so quick.
Yeah. Why am I so far behind?
Oh, you're not really.
Apple. Oh, sorry, I just mean, why does this jump to really is what I was trying to say. Applejar, hey Hench, have a question. What's the best kind of beans for health? Baked beans surely is the answer, I hope. So yeah, anything with like a sugary or a sucralose rich sauce with loads of salt and whatever, it isn't going to be the best, sadly. But the actual beans themselves, they are haricot beans. All beans are amazing. They're all good. The best, possibly the best legumes, antioxidants wise, would be lentils. That's because they've got much more surface area to mass ratio relative to other like legumes. Chickpeas are right up there as well. Black beans, sometimes the colour, you know, that's the antioxidant, so that can be a clue as well. But all of them are amazing. I eat every sort of legume I can find. I just eat them all on rotation, to be honest.
Good luck getting any beans at the moment.
Yeah. It's terrible, isn't it? Andre, do you think if we're prioritising building muscle and eating excess protein, that we're sacrificing our longevity at all? Very much so, I'm afraid to say. So there's definitely life extending benefits to under eating calories, like intermittent fasting. If you've got high protein, you're sort of raising your IGF-1, like the mTOR pathway. And then there's the what's that called? Homeostasis thing. So while you've got tons of protein constantly coming in, your body is in like build mode. But if you didn't have tons of protein all the time and there were breaks where you weren't, so fasting type dillies, your body would then go into repair mode. It would like hunker down and repair any damage. Because you've got so much protein, it's just builds. Like you got to hope it doesn't accidentally build something that it shouldn't. Like cancers and stuff like that. Whereas when you have a break, your body would be undoing like DNA damage and reversing the potential for cancer. So that's a huge one, yeah. And just in terms of like, I think insulin, like over time, it's a lot more life promoting to undereat calories, if anything, and to eat low protein. The longest lived people on record, the Okinawans of the 1940s, they ate, like I think it was either 7 or 8% of their calories as protein, and they were the longest lived people. So yeah, I'm afraid we are suffering for our art. If I wasn't a bodybuilder, I wouldn't be eating half of the protein, not half. And I'd certainly be eating a lot less calories. That said, a whole foods, plant-based vegan bodybuilding diet may be supplemented with 1 or 2 quality protein shakes, such as what Vivo Life is, what I promote. Link in the description, give us your money. That's got to be a lot better than eating tons of meat, hasn't it? I just realised how funny I am. It's got to be, I used to eat like 10 kilos of chicken breasts a week. You think chicken is lean and like low fat. Well, all of the cells have cholesterol in them. So you're eating tons of cholesterol, however lean like your animal protein source, like prawns, shrimp, they have more cholesterol than beef does. So yeah, there's no getting away from it.
Vegeta makes a good point. That give us your money wasn't really strong enough.
Sorry, give us your Jack Ryan, imagine the backlash if it started from a veggie burger. Oh, the old COVID. Yeah, good friend James Gorman put something like that recently, didn't he? Did you see? Yeah, like a Facebook thing. I think he wrote it. Right. And it was pretty much, imagine the uproar and media frenzy if COVID-19 had started at a vegan market.
Yeah, they'd be all over that, wouldn't they?
I think I need to do a little post about that. That's very clever.
Yeah.
David Gardell, so they're allowing the wet markets in China again because I think it's blind out. I thought that there was laws coming in now in China. That was the last thing.
They're not allowed to sell wild animals there anymore. Is what I heard.
It can come from any animal. We've had swine flu from pigs. We've had bird flu from probably fowl. We've had BSE from eating cows. It can come from any animal. So we need to stop all animal agriculture. I think the CDC has said 75% of zoonotic diseases have come from us eating animals. And only a quarter, like incidentally, where we've, we don't often come in contact with many animals particularly, other than our sort of animal companions, I suppose. So, if we're farming like 80 billion or whatever it is, 70 billion is it? That's a lot of animals we're coming into contact with. Karen Lovigan's in the house, my new Facebook chum. How are you doing, lovely? Belly, I feel so weird that the actual situation is like slow-mo car crash. What your feels about? I feel the same way. It's unbelievable, isn't it? I sort of forget about it for a minute, then remember again, and then I just can't really believe it all. I really can't. Patty Ridderelli, any suggestions for someone with hypothyroidism? So, Thyroid hormones are made from iodine molecules. So if you're not getting seaweed in your diet regularly, you're probably going to be hypothyroid. Like that could be a reason for it. How many doctors bother to ask about that? Did they ever speak to you about that?
No, not once.
Yeah.
They never talked about diet. I actually
Yeah.
asked, is there any diet
Yeah.
things I should be doing?
Oh,
And they
no.
said no, like not related.
You could check your selenium as well. Low selenium can lead to hypothyroid. For most people, eating a whole foods plant-based diet, calorically adequate, so legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs, spices. But for some, especially if you're on lower calories, you probably need to add at least like a Brazil nut in, like maybe just one. If you saw my last video, 4 Brazil nuts a day would bump most people up against a safe, tolerable upper daily limit. And of course, there's selenium in the rest of our diet as well. So then you can be at a toxic level. You don't want to go mad on Brazil nuts for that reason. So I say maybe 1 or 2 Brazils a day. Have a look on Chronometer. Make sure you're not going too high with that. They're the main ones. If your hypo is caused by Hashimoto's, which is like an autoimmune disease, that's behind most hypo, isn't it? I read somewhere.
Yeah.
So that's a common one, which is it says autoimmune. So you need to avoid things like gluten.
Definitely gluten is a big one.
Anything
to
else?
avoid. Don't think so.
Gemma's something of an expert.
Well, not really an expert, but I have that also. And another key thing is like your adrenals that support your thyroid. So if you have a lot of stress, not enough sleep, things like that, and your
Too much stimulants.
Yeah, too much caffeine and things, like your adrenals get burnt out, and then they can't support you, and it just makes it even worse.
And then your sex hormones go out of whack as well, don't they?
Yeah, they're all like in an axis, aren't they?
Yeah.
All together.
Yeah.
So yeah, if one's out, it can make the others go out.
Yeah.
I think your adrenals can support your thyroid for a time when that goes, but then your adrenals get tired. So get enough sleep and lower stress, and maybe take things to support your adrenals, like licorice root. That's a real good one.
Ashwagandha I've heard is really good. Lowers your cortisol and raises your DHEA.
Brilliant, yeah.
So that would have been a good one to know years ago, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Ashwagandha's great, get on that.
Yep, I hope that helps. That is a horrible disease, like a silent disease, isn't it? Where
everything.
Outwardly, like there doesn't seem to be anything up with you, but you can feel like literally like death, potentially.
Yeah.
I think, trying to get some light exercise, that you don't want to be doing high intensity stuff, certainly. And I think you want to, if you're feeling particularly bad one day, like don't, just give yourself a rest that day. Oh, Rob, you lovely person, kindly donated 5 Canadian bucks. Sorry if you got this before. What are your thoughts on raw vegan diets? The main reason that I'm not a fan of them, knowing about the gut microbiome and how that's our potential for the best health, it's so restrictive in terms of, basically the bigger the range of whole plant foods we eat, the more different ones, the more different gut bacteria, healthy ones, the Prevotella strains we're going to have living in the gut. So the better our gut health will be, and the better our potential for mental and physical health will be. So that's my main one there. I will say that I'm not trying to poo-poo him. And if it's working for some people, great, particularly if they've got blood work and things to prove they're in brilliant health. And obviously they're feeling great. So I don't want to poo-poo it. But I see it as a much harder diet to implement. I see it as harder to get all the essential nutrients so easily. If you're not living on the equator, like to get enough properly ripe fruit and have that available at all times, I see that as very much of an issue. And the True North Clinic, who I really do rate, there's Dr. Goldhammer runs it. Up till recently, Dr. Clapper was there. Doug Lyle, some really eminent plant-based doctors, and they say that they've never seen a healthy long-term fruitarian in there. This is their words, not mine. What was it to do with, they say, like high fructose?
Yeah, it's not great for the liver.
Not great for the liver, so they claim. I don't know. I'm just repeating like what I've heard from them. However, some people swear by it. So, yeah, who knows? As long as people are not eating animals, do you know what I mean? Like, fair play to them. Yeah, great question. What is that little, what is that avatar? I can't quite make that out. Looks like a sort of mouse with a top hat, or a bit like one of those singers out of Star Wars Return of the Jedi, like the remake. Whatever it is, I like it. Thanks for the question, and thank you for your kind support. That is very helpful. I'll pop back a little further, and if I miss your comment or question, do pop it back in the chat. Jill Woolley, advice please for post-menopause. Fat loss seems impossible. Was working out lifting weights at the gym pre-virus. Really, it's about optimizing your hormones as much as possible, which again is a whole foods, plant-based diet, basically. It does get harder though, for sure. But yeah, it shouldn't be impossible. Fat loss. So stick to whole foods, plant-based. Eat 3 or 4 massive meals every day. But, you know, obviously we need to be lower in calories. So what you want to do is really emphasize the low calorie vegetables, you know, like your cooked and salad greens, all the low calorie veg, crucifers particularly. You want to have a decent amount of legumes at most meals. That's particularly good. Some whole grains, some tubers as well, like potato, sweet potato, a little fruit, but again low calorie. So apples, oranges, pears, that sort of malarkey. And don't have too many nuts. Have a little bit of nuts and seeds, because we do need essential fatty acids, which is why they're called essential. So 1 to 3 tablespoons of ground flax or chia. And then maybe a similar amount of other nuts and seeds, which will be higher than the omega-6 relative to 3, which is why we're eating the flax and chia. They must be ground. It should be quite easy, but you need to really stuff yourself so you don't get hungry. So as I say, huge meals, lots of veg, a little low-calorie fruit, a small amount of overt fats, not much in the way of overt fats, maybe no more than like 15% of your calories. Yeah, your legumes are great. Between meals, drink well of fluids, you know, so that's going to keep you fuller, keep you hydrated, keep you feeling amazing. Vitamin D, if you're not getting sun, vitamin D is fat burning. It lowers your sex hormone binding globulin to give you more free testosterone, which even as a female, you want some testosterone there helping you out. It should be very doable, but it's filling ourselves up so we don't fall off the wagon, but we're filling ourselves up with a lot of fiber, a lot of water, a smaller amount of calories, particularly from fats, but lots of nutrition. On average, vegetables are 16 times more nutrient dense than animal products, or than meat, sorry, specifically, according to Harvard University. Oh, we had a super chat. Jan Schlosser kindly donated £2 Great British pounds, as he is primed to helping us out from his kind heart. Are there many wild meadow plants that are edible? Probably you're asking the wrong man, I'm afraid. I'm a bit clueless, but I have, I did go out with a guy.
We've got this, but I've never read it.
We've got this. Food for free. Whereabouts are you, Jan? I guess you're probably in Great Britain, are you? If you're using pounds. This is £3.50. Food for free.
I don't know if it's any good or not. I've never read
We don't know if it's any good. Who recommended it? Was it Kai?
Someone gave it to us.
Kai, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
She's great. Yeah, there's plenty about. I know like nettles are particularly nutrient dense, like iron and things like that. It's a lot of mushrooms. I went mushroom picking once with a guy, not the naughty types of mushrooms, but edible mushrooms. He was really clued up. And when we first started looking, I couldn't see any. I thought there's none there. This is a waste of time. Once I got my eye in, by the end of the day, I could see nothing but mushrooms. It was really weird. They're all in kind of circles. I think they call them like fairy circles or something. They're all in circles, like weirdly, and they seem to coat the whole of the place. And I couldn't understand why I didn't see them before. It's really odd, but you get your eye in and you get good at spotting them. Obviously, you need to be very certain, like the ones you're eating, because they can look very similar, and where one could be edible, one could probably kill you in like a high enough dose. And the little tip he had was to cut through the stem with a knife, have a little look. If there's a hole going through the stem, that's got a worm in it, so we will ditch those ones. And yeah, that was great. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty that you could eat. Like I say, I'm no ex. What was that garlic? Wild garlic.
Yeah, like these things that tasted like garlic.
Yeah, sort of these like a grass, weren't they almost? Anyway, they tasted like garlic, like really uncannily like garlic. This is really weird.
From South Yorkshire.
Ah, South York. I drink Yorkshire tea nowadays. Oh, nice. How's the vegan scene in Yorkshire? I've never heard. I'll go back a little ways. The one above all eats 60% of the food cooked and 40 raw. I would say typically, I can't really put a number on it, and I don't stick rigidly to things. I sort of eat quite intuitively. On a bulk, I'd say I'm probably about 75% cooked, 50 raw. But then on a cut, I'll often add in a lot more low-calorie a lot more low-calorie salads and fruits. So I might even go near a 50-50, actually. Sean Forrest kindly donated 2 Great British pounds. I wish people like yourself lived near me. Too lonely. Oh, whereabouts are you, brother? Moved to Norwich. All the well, not all the UK vegans are here, but we've got a good load. You'd be very, very welcome. Thanks for your support. Not even a question, just supporting his local neighbourhood animal activist, YouTuber, vegan man. Put those words in another order so that they make better sense. Susan Kelly, there are local foraging groups all over the globe. Many are on meetup.com. Learn from those in the know. Very good advice. Thanks, Susan. Applejar, Hench, does Gemma ever call you stench fartivore? Love from Australia to you awesome humans. Not nearly often enough. Sadly, not often enough. Jason, I have sinned. Oh, I guess I missed the start of that. Oh, yeah. Hey, really like your videos. Thank you. I am 53, recently diagnosed with T2 diabetes and high blood pressure. I was a bit heavy. I needed a life change. I did the research, decided to go vegan. Nice. I've since been tested again and my blood pressure is normal. Nice. And my doctor took me off metformin. Wow. Whole foods, plant-based, vegan nutrition is so powerful, but people just don't know. Unlike Jason. Good for you, brother. I'm really happy to hear that. I'd like to hear a success story. A whole food plant-based diet will change your life. Keep making videos the world needs to know. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. And thank you for sharing. That's made my day. That has. Very good. But everyone, let's give him a round of applause. Right. Who else is saying things? Sean is in Llandudno, North Wales. Too quiet around here. Yeah. I've heard like parts of Wales are quite un-vegan. Bless you. Get yourself over to Norwich. We'll look after you. Oh, Curtis White, you lovely man, buying workout and nutrition plans, and now he's kindly donated 5 Great British pounds to the cause. What's your views on eating veg raw, i.e. sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower? I've been told it might be bad for you with certain veg. So the only thing with that is probably people are referring to goitrogenic foods, so foods that sort of enlarge the thyroid. You can look like you've got a bit of a sort of lump in the throat there. So what would that be, Jem? Like
You have to
a
eat
lot of
so
crucifers?
much, a lot of it though.
Yeah, like broccoli,
A lot.
cabbage. They're better cooked, but yeah, you'd have to eat a lot of them to cause harm. Really, the what was it? I think it was in Poland. They were eating so much raw cabbage that was becoming a bit of an epidemic in Poland, just because they were really ODing. And the other thing is, I understand that this can be mitigated with a decent enough level of iodine. So many people are iodine deficient. It's only really, it's in the soils, but it's so depleted in most areas that it's really not worth talking about. And you really need to get some seaweed in. Minimum 1.5 sheets of nori, half a teaspoon of dulse or arame flakes, 1 1/8 of a teaspoon of wakame. Hijiki is high in arsenic, so that should be avoided. And kelp is very high in iodine. So 1/16 of a teaspoon is your minimum 150 microgram RDA. You only need like 1,100 micrograms, and that is your upper safe daily tolerable limit. So it wouldn't take many, it wouldn't take much kelp, also known as kombu, so watch out for that, to go over that. So that's one you want to be careful of. So yeah, should be fine as long as your iodine levels are decent. Perhaps if you are suffering with hypothyroidism, and you can't get that right just from diet, in that instance, maybe I'd suggest, perhaps be a little bit more careful on goitrogenic foods. Good question, and thank you for your kind support. I need a drink. Richard Roberts, I'm trying to ration my food to minimise the need to go out. I can understand that. I'm currently eating whole foods. What's the minimum safe, healthy calories? I'm 30. It all depends on your own stats. You don't want to go below definitely 5% body fat. Probably 10% would be healthier. And you can work out your caloric needs using a total daily energy expenditure calculator, or if you just type in TDEE calculator into your browser, one will pop up, and you put in your sex, age, height, weight, rough body fat percentage if you know it. It's not that important, no. And then you do a multiplier for your activity levels, and it will tell you roughly what kind of calories you need to maintain. And if you're a bit overweight, obviously you can come down 250, 500 calories. If you're really obese, you could come down even more than that potentially. And what I would recommend is to plug your foods into the Chronometer app, Chronometer, Chronometer app, and it will tell you like your micronutrients. So it will tell you your calories, but it'll also tell you your micronutrient levels, so you can be sure you're getting the minimum of vitamins and minerals, which that minimum is for most is essential. And your essential fatty acids as well. Don't worry too much about omega-6. That is an arbitrary number based on the average of a sick population, basically Westerners eating like standard rubbish diet. And it's very pro-inflammatory, so we probably don't need half as much as they suggest. I've been eating a lot less for years, and I'm feeling absolutely great. And I have a lot less pain throughout my body and less potential for illness. Choline is another one. Choline may come up lower on a vegan diet. You may have heard a big furore in the newspapers a little while ago about choline. Well, that person who wrote that was a journalist, not a scientist, not a nutritionist. It was an editorial. It was an opinion piece on someone who's not got a clue about nutrition. And yes, we do need choline for brain function. And needs are elevated in like pregnant people, breastfeeding. So in those two instances, you do want to go nearer the RDA. But again, that RDA is set from an average of sick people. And so for the masses, you probably don't need to worry about that. There is some choline in vegan foods, particularly grains and beans. Well, when I write plans and for my own nutrition, generally the choline is about half the RDA, and no one's got sick from that. And you know, it's the healthiest diet in the world. It prevents, treats, and reverses all the main killer diseases that we normally suffer and die from. But other than that, most vitamins and minerals probably are like quite near the minimum RDI. Like, we do need to hit those. So if you're not hitting any of those, you'll be able to see, and you'll see what foods sort of contain more, and you'll be able to emphasize those foods. But yeah, omega-6, choline, unless pregnant, don't worry about getting the RDA. Just whatever comes from your whole foods diet will be adequate. Okay. Carpazzi Romanesti says, hello, Paul and Gemma from Romania. Hello yourself, thanks for joining. How's the vegan scene where you are? There was the hand of the voice from beyond, welcoming you to the stream. Good to have you. The one above all, do you think we can get Clarence Kennedy to challenge Sean Baker after the Leo Sean beef? I like to call it tofu. Who knows? Who knows? That'd be good, wouldn't it? I actually put those two in a video before, Sean and Clarence. Applejar, I really can't get my head around how you have less subscribers than Frank Trufano and Sewerage. It's really simple. There's hundreds of vegan YouTubers because veganism is incredibly popular now. There's stuff all carnivore YouTubers because only idiots would think that a diet consisting only of the foods which are terribly bad for our health. You know, they cause the #1 killer and 14 of the 15 leading killers in general. Only a complete moron would eat that type of diet or want to know about it. So, you know, who have you got in the carnivore movement? Sean Baker, he's not got many followers, I don't think. Frank Tufano, Sverage. I can't really think of very many more. Bobby's Perspectives imploded, hasn't he? So that's the reason. Although veganism's super popular, there's a lot of vegans. There's also a lot of vegan YouTubers to serve them. But there's only like a very, very small amount of carnivore eaters. So the fact that there's just 3 carnivore YouTubers, well, they're going to get a lot of subscribers. It's really that simple. If I started a new let's eat poo diet, one thing, it'll be healthier than the carnivore diet, especially if you're eating vegan poo. But there'd be no competition. So anyone who Googled poo diet, I'd come up. Jan, iodine is in sea salt or seaweed. I don't think there's much in sea salt, is there? So I keep saying Jan. Is it Jan? Do I pronounce that? I don't think there's much in sea salt, is there? I could be wrong. I know that some table salt in 200 odd countries is iodized, so it does have iodine added. But I think that's at much higher amounts than you'd find in sea salt. I could be wrong. That's my understanding. I thought that like sea salt was virtually all sodium and just really trace of like other minerals. I've not looked for a long time, so I could be talking nonsense. Hummus Hero, I have an allergic reaction to seaweed, but I use kelp as a fertilizer so that my veggies will have enough. But are they taking it up though? They may be. I don't know. I don't know if you might want to just run some tests to be sure if you haven't. The other thing, of course, is to take a supplement if necessary. That's fine. Susan Kelly, using this time to eat my way through my pantry items. I mostly need to buy fresh and frozen produce and a seasoning or 2. Amaranth for breakfast today. Nice. I wanted to have teff today, but for some reason I went and had a smoothie instead in the end. Have we got teff or is that amaranth that's sitting in there?
I don't know.
I love teff. Amaranth is nice as well. the one above all, 60-40, is the best and most balanced. 60 cooked and 40 raw. Been doing this since 2013. I'm afraid evidence of an anecdote of one is not really proof. We need peer-reviewed studies on, we need people eating 50-50, 60-40 in preference of raw. But I like your enthusiasm. And if you're feeling amazing, brilliant. And I'm not surprised you feel amazing. Jan Cockle. Hey Hench, what is your opinion on different types of fasting? Short-term fasting, medium and long-term fasting. So apparently with intermittent fasting, no benefits to, like no metabolic benefits to like fat loss or muscle gain, anything like that. My understanding is there's no science to back that up. There is some potential diet adherence benefits, you know, in terms of it's easier to get in a caloric restriction and stick to it. There's definite health benefits. You know, you're going to get that hormesis thing going on where when you're not like deluged with protein and calories in general, that your body is going to hunker down and go into like repair mode, so repairing DNA damage, things like that. The old, what's that called? Autophagy is going to be in full effect. Medium, so 16 to 40 hours a day fasting. It would be impossible for me to get adequate calories and nutrients in. I like to eat very nutritive foods. And I think if we look at primates, there's 633 other primate species. All of them are grazers. All of them graze throughout the day. So I think it's very unnatural. Even like three meals a day is probably quite an unnatural thing. Like that's, you know, that's really quite a modern advent, really. In terms of like longer term fasting, 2 to 3 days, like 3 days plus fasting, I think that's harmful. I think that you'd struggle to get adequate nutrients in. You'd probably start to rely on synthetics, which are shown oftentimes to do more harm than good, if anything. You really want to be eating like whole plant foods and getting your nutrition there. So I think it just makes it too hard to get enough nutrients from whole plant foods. And if it's, I mean, why is the reason for it? If it's a health thing, then I would say sort of daily, like smaller eating windows, perhaps, or maybe like the odd day a week, like 5-2, perhaps. That may be good. But I think more than that, you're going to start starving your gut microbiome. And as I always go on about, that's the potential for our optimal health. You know, we need to feed these good bacteria, and they like a constant supply of soluble fibre and resistant starch. So that's all my thoughts on it, really. I'm no expert. You would do well to get the book. What's that book we're listening to? Dr. David Sinclair, and he's got a book about longevity. Lifespan. Dr. David Sinclair, you'll like that book. He's a little bit more clued up than I am on the old fasting. Richard Benham, plans for another ebook. We're working on one now. Well, Gemma is. We're doing a desserts book, a healthy whole foods dessert book. Who's down? Comment. Yes, please. Hashtag yes, please in the comments so we know we can gauge interest.
I've done about a fifth of it so far, so it'll be a little while.
It's a little while off.
I can't get a lot of the ingredients at the moment, so that's holding me up.
Hi, Deepika. Thanks for joining. Jason Waterslaw. When I work out, I remain calorie negative on my days off since I have a little, I'm always in the calorie positive. Yep, that sounds like a plan. As long as, you know, by the end of the week, like you're in a net negative, that's all you need to worry about. Junior's in the house, or JR. I don't know which it is. Deepika, your views on peanut butter, is it a healthy source of fat and protein? Yes and no. If it's whole foods peanut butter, so basically the ingredient is peanuts, and it's not like terribly separated, so you've got a load of oil sitting on the top, then it's not too bad. But I wouldn't have tons of it. I think peanuts are relatively high in saturates relative to the true nuts. You know, that's actually a legume, isn't it? So I prefer to go harder on things like almonds, which are high in omega-3. What else is good about almonds? Oh, vitamin E. They have tons of vitamin E as well. Things like sunflower seed butter, like they're incredibly high in vitamin E. And a lot of people, I think the healthier diets are lower in fat, not devoid, but lower in fat. And in that situation, it's sometimes hard to get all your vitamin E. So one strategy is to eat well of almonds, or even better, sunflower seeds.
About 9 people said hashtag yes please.
Okay, we'll get on it. You're very welcome, Richard. Thanks for the love. And it, you know, when people ask me stuff and then they say they're going to put it into practice, that makes me feel good and like I'm doing something worthwhile. What, you know, the thing I really despise is ask holes. No, that wasn't rude. Ask holes. You know, you get the odd guy at the gym and they ask you 1,000,001 things and you know that they're not going to do any of them, and you just think you're just wasting my time. This is irritating. But not you guys. I love you guys. Junior's running out of cashews. That is very sad. Erica, love these daily live chats. I have 3 boys under 5. They're driving me bonkers. Oh, you need a bit of adult connection. The one above all, do you think I can live to 200 or 150 years if I stay on a whole foods, vegan diet and exercise? And if medical science develops, you may be able to eat rubbish and not even bother exercising if it develops enough. So the average primate lives 7 times the age of sexual maturity. So theoretically, we should be living to our sort of 120s if that's, if that all follows. Some things to sort of be aware of is like under eating calories a little bit, moderate exercise, but not mental like exercise. Obviously optimal nutrition, hydration, avoiding pollutants. That's not very easy in today's world. And then there's things that you wouldn't think of, like connection. So if we're clinically lonely, which is described as 3 or less like really good friends, the Blue Zone studies showed that you could lose up to 8 years off the end of your life. Another 8 years if you lack a sense of purpose, you know. So if you're like a vegan advocate and whatever, like that's a great way to help ensure an extra 8 years on the life there. Yeah. Happiness is important. Sleep is like vitally important. You lose years if you're getting less than 7 or 8 hours sleep. A lot of our repair is done in that time. We have like amyloid plaques build up in the brain. The only time that they're flushed out is while we're asleep. If you're getting less than 7 or 8 hours sleep, they're building up, and so is your risk for dementia, which is one of the biggest killers. And it's a growing risk factor as well for humans. Curtis White, you lovely man. Collie donated another 5 great British bucks. What's the best place to get your bloods checked to see if you need more or what you're getting in the way of nutrients? I just did it through the doctors a couple of times. I went in there and said, I've gone vegan and I'm a bit worried I don't feel too great. And they rushed and got me a test a couple of times. And all of my nutrients that they tested came out at the top of range. Other than that, probably like online, I don't know who's best. I'm about to do a testosterone test. Hang on a minute. I'm about to do a video sponsored by these guys. No, it's not Comedy Central. It's Let's Get Checked. This is total test, sex hormone binding globulin and total free androgens. But they do all sorts of other tests as well. I'm guessing that they've got dozens. I'm guessing they've got nutrient tests. So if you don't have any luck with your doctors, hang on. I'll do a video as soon as I've got the results back for this. And you can get a 20% discount code because they're going to link. I don't think that was the right word, was it? Thanks for the great question, and thank you for your continued support. You're making life seem a lot less worrisome for me. Ray Steve, if I never sexually mature, I can live forever. Yes. Sorrelala's got no friends. You've got loads of friends. You've got all of us in the comment section and here. Oh, Vicky Hall, as a nurse, my sense of purpose is huge. Yeah, I can imagine. Thank you so much, my lovely. You are a real hero. I'm not so sure that I would want to be going into hospitals and things. My hat's off to you. You're amazing.
Let's all give her a round of applause.
Yeah, let's all give her a round of applause, please. I shan't carry on until we've got 20 clap emojis in the comments.
Sit with your arms crossed while you wait. I can't do emojis on my laptop.
Yeah.
It's so slow.
Anyway, you are a lovely, lovely person, and we really appreciate you so very much. A night elf. The doctors love to blame my health issues on veganism, though not the case. Yeah. Oh, here they all come, you lovely people. I love you guys. Jason, a healthy mind, body and spirit is the key to a happy, healthy life. Eat well, exercise, meditate, and in a world where you can be anything, be kind. I love that. Oh, look at that. There's loads of claps. A pause. Oh, I did my clap in there. So that's just 18 to go because Gemma did as well. Well, you just clap and I'll just lubricate the old, wet my whistle.
I did some claps, but also a cat in a box. I didn't know I pressed that.
Why is a cat in a box?
I don't know.
How do you get that?
I don't know. I must have pressed it by accident.
Brilliant.
There's also a hand washing emoji quite up the top there now that wasn't there before.
Oh, okay. The one above all, how much can Sean deadlift? I can deadlift 350 pounds and bench 400 pounds. Wow. That's crazy. I don't know. I did a little video with Sean. There's a video on my channel somewhere. I think it's called Carnivore Smokes Vegan. Carnivore Weightlifter Smokes Vegan or something. And you'll see Sean do a deadlift. And then he does this silly little dance because he's so pleased with himself. He looks like a right silly man. Wow, there's 2 cat in the boxes. Yeah, well said, Jason. Well said. You're starting an emoji fight.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, let's do it. Emoji it up while I just have my drink. Right, we'll go for a couple more minutes and then I should really do some other things. Any last minute comments or questions? Chronically ill vegan Cassie. Hi, Paul. How are you? I'm good, thank you, my lovely. How are you? Bless you. It's a monkey. Good emojis. Who's up for a stream tomorrow night? We'll do 6 till 7 tomorrow if you're up for it. Brigitte, what is your favourite bean? I like the texture of butter beans and the taste. I'm a big fan of black beans as well, though. I'd say it's those two, but it sort of changes based on which one I had last. Gub Zero, your self-defense training videos are amazing. I'm surprised you've seen them. They're so old and thanks for that. Yeah, I used to be so into martial arts and like self-protection. It was a huge love for me. I'd say I was into that as into that as I am into the veganism thing now. Right. Okay, that's our hour. I'm going to sign off now and go and do some other things.
Wait, I haven't found my fun emojis yet. It takes too long on this laptop.
Thanks for joining. As I say, we'll be on tomorrow night from 6 till 7 GMT. I want to thank the lovely moderators. I want to thank everyone who kindly super chatted and made our live seem a little bit more certain that we're not going to be living on the streets and having no food to eat. And thanks for everyone joining in the chat. If you're new here, we'd love you to become part of the Hench Herbivore community. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon so you're notified of new videos and live streams. I reckon I'll have a video for you tomorrow. It's going to be particularly hilarious, if I do say so myself, based on our good friend Sverige. And but we'll other than that, we'll see you at 6 p.m. for another stream, I hope. It's good night from me.
Oh, and good night from me.
Good day to you, sirs and madams.